Well, we got to talk about the beef since you brought it up.
Yeah.
Worst L than Ja Rule? Is it a bigger L than Ja Rule?
I think it's too early to say because Ja's career. I hate even saying this on camera.
Because Ja Rule became a verb.
Yeah.
And people said, yo, you Ja Ruled me.
He became a verb and his career was essentially just over. You know what I mean? And so I think it's too early to call it because we don't know if Drake's career is over. I think that if Drake's career is over, which I don't think will happen, to be honest.
I think he's too big.
I think he's too big. That's what I'm trying to say. So
I think no matter what, Drake will have a place.
Exactly.
And have a certain level of success.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But I think it's an example of like when the people choose. Like for me, I personally hate the beef, and I only hate the beef because to me this had a potential to be like the most like entertaining beef from like a rap perspective. Like I thought that
I think it was.
See, I don't view it that once it got too messy for me, it was like it was hard for me to like
which rap beefs aren't messy.
Not messy like that though. Like when we start talking about like hitting your significant other and pedophilia,
I agree.
Like to me, it crossed a line where I feel nasty. You know what I mean? Like,
listen, the Nas and Jay-Z beef got extremely nasty.
But not pedophilia.
Jay-Z said he left a dirty
violence.
condom on Nas's child's baby seat.
Yeah, but fucking your bitch is always gonna be in rap. Like that's like a thing that's been in rap since the history. You know what I mean? Since the beginning of the time. Like to me, that's not that crazy. And I don't even mean I mean on both ends. Like,
well, listen, on Euphoria, he kind of told him like,
no, for sure. Like at the end of the day,
don't fuck around and find out.
Exactly. At the end of the day, like everything that happened for a reason. No pun intended. But I wanted to see them like from a pen standpoint, I wanted to see them go back and forth like more. And I feel like it got so messy that it was like neither side could like go anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
There's never any coming back from it.
And that's what I'm trying to say. I
like there's never going to be a point in time where
they cool and like I wanted to see them go
that's
at
never
it
gonna happen.
And then be like, yo,
there won't be the Nas Jay-Z like
let's do
Summer
a record.
Jam.
Exactly. And so that's never gonna happen. And so that's the only part about it that if I could like be the constructor of how it happened, I would want that just because I'm a fan of both. You know what I mean? And I think that now we're at a point just in the industry where like everybody. It just feel nasty. Like everybody has to choose a side, and when we're in that space, to me, we're not like allowing like honesty and authenticity to live. Like you can't be in a space of choosing sides and have honesty in it. You can't be in a space of choosing sides and have authenticity in it because you have to just stand where you're at. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we look at it like Maul's my guy, but he's all the way on this end. It's fucking ridiculous.
Maul's wild.
And then Joe's my guy, but he's all the way on this end. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And so there is no space to be completely, you know what I mean, unbiased and authentic.
By the way, if you just followed me on Twitter, you would think I was the West Coast Mall, but for Kendrick,
you've been going crazy.
It's so much. The funnest thing in the world on Twitter for me to do right now is to just throw some red meat to the OV hoes. I just bait them.
Yeah,
I'll throw a tweet out there and I'll just let it go.
You just watch it. It just takes on a life of its own.
It's like these are real people.
Yeah, bro. Like
these Drake fans, they're like their entire profile is dedicated to this man, and then they're gonna tweet me about not getting pussy. Like I don't even know what you look like.
It's crazy, bro. Like, and then do you know anybody in real life that's like that?
No. No, actually, I have a friend.
I'm about to say
who has an OVO tattoo, and
that's crazy.
And I've been making fun of him for 10 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. But now it's like,
shout out to DJ Yours Truly. I'm like, bro, you got a fucking OVO owl on your shoulder? The fuck? But there's people with those.
That's what I'm about to say. So I don't know a lot of people like that, but. When you meet it, when you are cool with somebody, and then it's like that, it's like, yo, bro, it's just us here. Like we can talk, like you know what I'm saying. Like we can have a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, and that's on both sides. Like I know a couple of people that's like that on Drake's end, and I know, of course, because I was with TDE. I know a lot of people that like that on Dot's end. And it just makes like barbershop talk not as fun no more. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think if it's like you're either Maul or you're me. Yeah, I mean, like, I'll say this about Drake. Like, obviously, Drake's one of the greatest rappers of all time.
For sure.
Biggest hit maker ever.
For sure, without a doubt.
I think that I've always been pretty critical of Drake, for sure, over the years. Mm-hmm. There was always something holding me back from, like, me putting him above, like, a few guys. Mm-hmm. And then, this battle just kind of reconfirmed all those feelings I had.
And I think that's why a lot of people chose the side that they chose, is because people have been having a certain perception or feeling about somebody, and then it's like you said, like the battle highlighted those things, and so people I think that they felt their emotions seen. The biggest thing, I think that the biggest takeaway that I tell artists with the battle is J. Cole just released his podcast series, and he had a line from Dilated Peoples that he said he kind of lived his career by, which is worst come to worst, my people first.
Of course.
And I think that
great record. Shout out to The Alchemist. Produced by The Alchemist.
Exactly. And I love, like, I got relationships on Drake's camp side as far as like production, different things like that. But the one thing that I do feel like as an artist you could take from that situation is I think Drake over the years could have done a better job taking care of his people. Because to me, the difference in the battle, Dot won regardless. So even to me, music-wise, I think Dot put out the better records. But I think the reason why it got as bad as it got is because I think over the years of just being such a big artist, I think Drake did not take care of his core. So Drake might have the bigger fan base, like overall, but Dot has the bigger core. And when you are in beefs, your core is going to be the one that's going to like ride and ignite the fire. Right. And let's say Drake has 10 million fans and Dot only has 5. Well, Dot has 4.5 million core fans, and Drake might have only had like 1 million.
Yeah, it's almost like there's Drake fans that are Drake fans just passively.
That's what I mean.
And it's like, it's almost like if you are a Drake fan, you might not necessarily, Mos Def got some hell because he said that Drake made great music to shop at Target too.
Yeah, he was out of his mind.
It was hilarious. Yeah. But that's kind of like true, because there's a lot of people who might just be shopping at Target.
I got what he was saying.
Comes on, that's what and you're like, oh,
I understood what he was saying.
But that might be the only hip hop artist they listen to, right? And then, you have all these Kendrick fans who have been like anointing him to be like,
bro,
because for better or worse, like Kendrick is he's been, in my opinion, he's been top 5 for the last like 7-8 years.
Yep.
But somehow he's also kind of underground.
Yeah.
For someone who's doing arenas.
He has an underground feel.
Yeah, for someone who's still doing arenas and doing the Black Panther soundtrack and winning all these Grammys and shit. But he's art first.
He's found a way to keep his feel underground.
Right.
Even
it's
though
art first always with Kendrick.
Exactly.
So it's like if he does an entire album like Mr. Brown, The Big Steppers, and it's about like therapy and like looking in the mirror in like this crazy way, and like most people don't get it. But the fans who do get it are like, y'all know how crazy this shit is?
Yeah.
And this battle, the way all these like YouTubers and TikTokers broke down every single little thing, everybody was like, this guy is surgical. And it's like, well, he's always been surgical.
He's always been that way. He's always been that way.
Now it's just, you're just seeing him surgically like pick another human being apart. And like, even with
and the fans are having a reason to like spread it even more. You know what I mean? Because of the stage that it's on.
Well, now it's like he's I mean, I think this is the biggest run we've ever seen an artist go on. He's got 100 million listeners on Spotify, which I mean, before 2 weeks in a row. Last week he was the first rapper to ever get 90 million listeners in a month.
Yeah.
This week he's the first rapper to get 100 million listeners in a month. And then Drake. And this the thing about Drake is like Drake's just, I mean, alien level talented, right? But then he puts out this Party Next Door album, and it sounds like AI. There's just no feeling in it. It's like, I don't know. Am I tripping? There's a couple of songs. Give Me a Hug. I like the Nokia record.
I like the Nokia record. I like Give Me a Hug. I like Spider-Man and Superman. I personally like the album because I knew coming up, like I didn't have.
It felt like a bunch of throwaways from like 2013.
That's. I mean, I don't necessarily like agree, but I can understand why you're saying that. If you know what I mean, but I like it because I knew what it was for. Like I knew before it came out, I put it in the box of like the Honestly Nevermind,
which I actually thought was.
No, I like Honestly Nevermind.
That shit was hard.
Yeah, I thought it was fire too. That's what I'm saying. Like, so I put it in that box, and so I didn't come into listening to it.
I think it's the worst Drake album ever. Because I think Honestly Nevermind's better.
And you think
I think it's the worst Drake album ever, and I think that's the problem when you're Drake and you're like, yo, if you're gonna come out with the slow jams on Valentine's Day, dog, you're capable of making Marvin's Room full. Like,
that's real.
What have you been doing the last 8 months? Crying?
Yeah. Nah, I feel that.
You should have. I was expecting like, oh, Drake's coming with like the hardest R&B shit we've heard from him ever, because this is this is his first release for real. So
See, but do you feel like that is affecting the way that you see the album, though? Because I didn't view it in that way.
I listened to it twice.
Like, I didn't view it like, this is going to be the hardest R&B. You get what I'm saying?
Threw it on with my wife in the car. And 3 songs in, she was like, this is new Drake? This sucks.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, yeah. Valentine's Day night, we're leaving dinner. I'm like, oh, the new Drake came out. Let's throw it on. She's like, this is new? I'm like, yeah. Like Mothballs is terrible. The CN shit, that shit's all other shit. I tried.
I give you, this the thing. Knowing you, I give you credit for putting it on. Because that's like, kind of like against, you know what I mean?
I'm allowed,
this thing that you've been building.
It's weird because I actually like, I enjoy a lot of Drake music over the years.
Of course.
I just, you know, for me, it's like, I don't know, man. I just feel dirty putting it on now. It's weird. Even though like I love, dude, like nothing was the same as a fucking. And I always say this because people will get on my head because I say Drake doesn't have a consensus hip hop classic, and what I mean by that is if you put like 100 of like the top hip hop heads, journalists in a room, if you ain't getting 95% of them motherfuckers to say that's a classic, it's not a classic. Like a Good Kid, Mad City, or Doggy Style. Now to me, Drake's got like 3 classics. I
think I got him at 4.
To me.
Yeah, to me.
Like personally,
I got him at 4 classics.
I think the first not the first mixtape,
if we count that, I got him at 5. If we count So Far Gone,
I got So Far Gone, I got Take Care, and Nothing Was the Same. I know a lot of people like if you're reading this, it's too late.
Yep, that's a classic to me.
I just can't get over the fact that I heard the fucking references. You know?
I feel that. I can respect that 100%.
Yeah,
I can respect that 100%.
But those are to me the 3 that I'm like, yo, Drake's. So I'm not like I'm a hater, but I'll be honest, like I love all 3 of those out. Like
for me,
Far Gone's bro. So Far Gone made me like.
I think so. That's what I'm about to say. I think So Far Gone is the consensus classic that you were talking about. I don't see you getting in the room with hip hop heads and them saying So Far Gone's not a classic.
Fair point.
But for me, I got So Far Gone, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same. I do have If You Reading This, It's Too Late, and I got the Future joint, What a Time to Be Alive. For me, how I judge classics is different though. I judge it where if you can just put it on and let it play and not have to press skip, and that doesn't mean that there's no song you don't like. It just means that you never get to a point to where you feel obligated.
Yeah, What a Time to Be Alive had. That was a crazy, especially in the clubs,
bro. And so I judge it off of that. I judge it off of impact, which is why I always say now, like, there's no such thing as like there's gonna be no new artist that can put out classics anymore because of impact. Because the game is so convoluted that unless you're like a huge artist or about to be huge, I think it's really hard to put out an impact. Like I think Doechii put out.
I think
Doechii put out a classic, but I'm saying like you have to have that level of impact. So if you're an artist that just can't make an impact in that way, it doesn't matter how good the music is. It's going to be hard.
I think it's hard, man, because like at the end of the day, like you said, there's just so much.
There's just so much shit, and it's not even just music. It's it almost like movies, it's podcasts, right. it's everything. You know what I mean? Like Shannon Sharp was having sex on the internet that lasted for 2 days. Like when it wasn't so much shit going on, we would have been talking about that for weeks. We talked about that for maybe 36 hours.
We're in this like weird media space where these streamers. You know, like a kid like Aiden Ross, like people, like his opinion on hip hop, people reach and care.
Matters.
But he's not. He doesn't know anything about hip hop.
I love Kai Cenat to death. I think everything Kai Cenat is doing is fucking phenomenal. But even the fact
he's
that
obviously not a hip hop head.
That's what I was gonna say.
Obviously,
so the fact that you have people dropping hip hop albums and feel like they are obligated to stop at Kai Cenat spot, which
and he's dope,
and Kai Cenat. Like I love Kai Cenat.
I love him. I love I Show Speed. I think they move with the right energy.
What they're doing is fucking phenomenal in there. I think they're visionaries, especially to be so young. But like you said, and he don't even try to act like he's a hip hop head. And that's one of the reasons I love Kai Cenat is because Kai Cenat don't try to be nothing that he's not. He don't give a fuck. Like they're killing him right now because of what he said about Dot. But he genuinely don't give a fuck, and that's what I love about him. He's just authentically Kai all the time. But I say this to say you got people that are 33, 34 feeling like obligated that they gotta stop there and spend a night to get their album to sell. You get what I'm saying? Like for real, like, and it's like, to me, that's the part of the game that like I just hate that we're at now, is that nobody's doing anything, like nobody's doing shit because they love it anymore. Everybody's treating it like a fucking job, and that's what I hate. Like you don't see big rappers sitting down with Bootleg Kevs or Charlemagne's or whoever that, like people that actually love rapping, they're just going to wherever they think makes sense for their album.
Well, that's all. Like a lot of artists now, if they're a certain level, they're just gonna go do Kai Cenat.
That's it. That's it, bro.
Like Nicki Minaj, the only piece of media she did, she went and spent the night with Kai Cenat.
And it's like, bro, like.
Well, I don't know if she spent the night. I don't want the bars to come
I don't think she spent the night, but I love Nicki to death. But with all due respect, why the fuck is Nicki Minaj spending the night? Like, or it's like popping like.
No, it's like it's okay to do that, but it's like also do something where we just have a music conversation about like. I don't know, just.
But see, I'm gonna take it a step further. I don't think that she should do that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think she should do that because Nicki, to me, I have Nicki as the best and biggest female rapper ever. It's not even a debate.
I agree.
So you are big enough to where like whatever the fuck you do is it, and that is one thing that I do have always liked about Drake is that like Drake did On the Radar. On the Radar became a spot. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Like to me, it's like when you're in that spot. Like, do groundbreaking shit because you are the wave. Like,
but then the other thing Drake will do is he won't go do it because this.
I agree with that
as much
too.
as I don't agree with academics, and academics has invited me to suck his dick on his stream. Wild guy. We got on the phone though. We're fine. Yeah. But. I'm like, yo, Drake, go do academic shit. Why are you doing these random little Canadian white dudes who fucking and gambling on stream? Like, this is
I agree.
Corny as fuck.
I agree. I feel like that's what I mean though. It's like to me,
or go do Rory and Mal,
bro. Go do Rory and Mal.
For fuck's sake, sit down with Mal.
Fucking fire.
He deserves it.
Like that.
He deserves it. But seriously,
but that's what I mean. Is like that's fire. Like I thought it was dope that. Dot just sat down with Ebro. Like to me, it's like, dude,
and that was a part of the Super Bowl.
And it was part of the Super Bowl.
But I'm like, Dot, don't sit down with DJ Head, please. Sit down with Head.
Exactly, like, bro. Like to me, like, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, this is not like a bias thing. This is not like a pick size thing. To me, hip hop is in the space that it's in because people pick features off of clicks and what's gonna benefit them. They pick interview. They pick everything based off of. What makes sense for the algorithm and not what makes sense for the culture. Yes. And that's why the culture keeps dying. Like, regardless of where this beef is, it's like hip hop is not in the best space that it's not in the best space because people do that. So like you'll get a big artist that it might make sense for them to work with a Boogie, but Boogie's maybe not hot enough. Right. So they go work with a nigga that they don't even know his catalog, but somebody told them like, yo, go look at this artist. He going crazy. And so they go work with him instead of doing that when it's like, you're not, at that point, you're not feeding the ecosystem. We don't feed the ecosystem enough. Like we need to keep our media that is in the world that we love, that really cares about this world. We need to keep them as the hottest media. How do you do that? Pull up. You get what I'm saying? If Nicki pulls up, to... I don't fucking know. Name whoever is a person in that space. That's what
I was thought about Q. Like Q going and doing Back on Fig was dope to me.
That was fire. Like that was fire, bro. Like go do Back on Fig because that is like the people that fuck with, you know what I mean? Like what you represent, that's the ecosystem you should be feeding. And like when you're a bigger, like I understand it for up and coming artists because you're just trying to get whatever likes you can get. But if you are like Nicki, you can go sit down with a nigga that we ain't never heard of before.
Put them on,
And they're gonna be the biggest thing because you're gonna bring a bunch of views.
The other thing too, though, is a lot of artists now, like, they just go straight to fans. They'd rather just go on Instagram Live. Like,
for sure.
Cardi B be fucked up on Instagram Live, titty out.
For sure.
I've seen Cardi B's areola meat a lot lately. But it's like anything you need to know about her and her fucking...
She just go straight to the fans.
Bro, for better or for worse, we know everything that's happening with her and Offset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Like, or she could go sit down in an interview and they ask, so what's going on with you and Offset?
Exactly,
well, just go watch my drunken IG Live from 3 nights ago. You know exactly what the fuck happened. We had sex 6 hours ago. And now I hate him.
But I also fuck with that because that's feeding her ecosystem.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing.
That's what I mean, yeah.
And then on the other side, it's like, unfortunately, with the streaming and like some of this shit, like, artists have also adopted what they call in the streaming world clip farming, like the clip farming model, where you're just like, okay, I'm rolling out the album. What are like 3 or 4 moments I can create
exactly
that is just going to get clipped,
and then we're going to send it to all of the pages, and they're going to post it. And so no, for sure.
We'll see. I mean, that's why I think like the one thing with the Kendrick thing and like Doechii winning Best New Artist Best Hip Hop Album. She got robbed for Best New Artist. Fuck listens to Chappelle Room.
Yeah, I didn't even know who that was, to be honest with you.
Anyway, but I think it's like promising we'll see. You know, we'll see, man. But yeah, I'm hopeful. But yeah, the ecosystem of media it's just becoming a lot, dude.
Bro, the ecosystem of media.
And I'm not even hating on anybody. I love, like you said, I love speed. But there's always like the Playboy Max guy. I feel like he just popped up like a month ago.
Yeah, he did. And
he's lit now. But I didn't know the fuck he was like 45 days ago.
And to me, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think that like that ecosystem should exist over there. Because it's the thing, they feed their ecosystem. Like Kai puts on a bunch of streamers. He just talked about the Stream University thing he wants to do. Like that's what I'm saying. He's a visionary. But I'm like, they feed their ecosystem. The issue with us is that we don't feed our ecosystem. Like our GOATs or our idols and shit like that, they don't go sit down and feed the ecosystem. They don't do records with up and coming artists that you'll have an artist, they'll have artist A who praise them so much that when you listen to artist A's music, you can hear it in their music how much they are influenced by this artist. And then they have artist B that kind of likes them, but they hot and they popping. And then they'll just go do a feature with artist B, which is like, that's cool and it's gonna help you, but it's not gonna help the ecosystem because if you do it with artist A, they're gonna get bigger and then they're going to A, praise you for doing that and putting them in a bigger light, but then also B, they're gonna then feed the ecosystem because now they're bigger, so now they can do bigger features with other people.
Yeah,
so,
I think, you know, I think back to the Drake Rap Radar interview a few years ago, and I think like it would be, if artists of that caliber, every few years, just did one of those sit downs, not necessarily
just
with
one,
Elliot,
bro.
just with someone who is aware of.
Just pick one,
yeah.
Right? Like literally, if you could put them in dice and roll the fucking dice out,
sure.
and just pick one, bro, and it'll keep our, you know what I mean, like ecosystem in that space.